In this video I'm going to discuss the Simply Postcode SOAP web service. First of all, you can gather more information about this web service by clicking on the More Information link at the bottom of this page, or the More Information link on the previous menu. That link will take you to this web page here, which for a start lists the advantages of using the SOAP web service. And the first and probably main advantage is that it's platform and language independent, which means that many modern languages can use it to interface using the SOAP protocol. So let's see a little bit of that in action. Well, I have a .NET example as part of the example code that can be downloaded from this link here. Well, I've already done that on this PC, so if I look in the programming examples, you see here we have a directory, vb.net 2005 thoroughfare, and if I open that in .NET, it looks something like this. You can see here we have the Simply Postcode web service listed in the Project Explorer. To add a web service to your project in .NET, you simply go Add Web Reference and paste in the URL of the web reference. The URL of the web reference for our SOAP service is listed further down on this page as this ASMX reference here, but of course if you need a WSL, just change the extension, it will do both. I'll just paste that into that URL and press go. And you can see now our web service has replied with a definition of what the web service provides. So we provide several functions and also some data types. Well, of course this project already contains this web reference, so I'm just going to cancel that. I'm just going to go into the code behind the search window and then we'll just step through the code as it runs. Let's run up that project. And as we've seen in previous examples, the first thing we need is a data key. The data key identifies our actual account with Simply Postcode. Now when you open an account with us, we will send you two data keys. One begins with I and one begins with W. Both will allow you 30-day access to one postcode area for trial purposes. The one beginning with W is meant for use on a public website, such as a checkout or applying for details, etc. This is only for access by Joe Blogs, i.e. the public. If an employee wants to use the address service, then they need to use the data key beginning with I. It's important that you identify each individual user of the system so we can identify each individual user and thus apply a user count. So therefore you buy user licenses for internal use. So let's just type in a postcode and press the search button. And you can see now that .NET has started up and gone into the procedure which handles the search button. As I said, if the license begins with I, then we should identify each user. So this line here is simply identifying whether it's an internal user and thus returning or adding the computer name to identify that user. As I said, we've got a web reference on the right here, and you can see here we created an object called Postcode Search as a new web service, followed by the returned address, which is returned in a data structure called PL_address record. So all we do now is we say address data returned equals postcode search for thoroughfare address, giving several parameters. One is the data key, the computer name, the fact it's the UK search, and the postcode. So that one simple line is going to call that web service and extract the address information. So I've just stepped over that. Next we check if there was an error. There was not an error, so we're safe to parse the address information returned. And you can see here we have information returned about the license, so that would tell you how many licenses you're using or how many credits, etc. And followed by the address information, so we're simply putting that into a text string to display at the end of the search. So if I press F5 and continue, there's the address information returned. And of course that was thoroughfare address, so we don't get the house name or number as we do with the full address. But as I said earlier, the SOAP service can cover the full address and the PostZon data too. An interesting thing to note about the PostZon data, that also if you provide a home postcode, it will work out the distance between two postcode areas.